This is One Person Found This Helpful with me, Frank Skinner. Hello, yes. Welcome to One Person Found This Helpful, the show where we look at online reviews, all genuine and sometimes quite spiritual, like this review of a gel bike saddle cushion, which said, "After every ride, I used to feel like someone had been consistently punching the underside of my groin area. After putting this on my bike seat, my privates feel like they've been touched gently by the hand of Nicole Kidman." 5 stars. I imagine she's got quite a skeletal...
Yeah, what you want? You want King Charles's hands.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Nicole, it'd be like sitting on one of those scalp massages. Anyway, please welcome our all-star panel. On my right is Sunil Patel and Angela Barnes, and on my left, Thomas and Marcus Brigstocke. So this being a show all about reviews, I want to ask the panellists to share any particularly noticeable reviews they've ever had, whether it's a 5-star banger or a no-star crusher, starting with Angela.
Well, my review is it's sort of a personal medical review, because I had to have a sleep study recently. I've got something called periodic limb movement disorder, which means my legs flail. I'm quite a catch, Frank.
Okay.
And I had to go and have a sleep study at Guy's Hospital, and I got the report back, and I'm going to read you exactly what it said on the report. And bearing in mind, I'm trying to sleep. There's a camera pointing at the bed while you're trying to sleep. And I don't know about you, but every time I've had a camera pointing at the bed, sleep's been the last thing on my mind. So it's not the most comfortable of positions. And I got the report back. He described my snoring as heroic. Yeah. And said watching her sleep is like watching horizontal river dance.
This is a medical professional.
This is in a medical report, a typed report.
Wow. So how about you, Anna?
Throughout like school and like various jobs and stuff I've had in the past, the feedback I've had so many times is that I'm like absent-minded and like forgetful and things. And yeah, but like I'd love those like teachers and managers from the past to see me now and see just how far that forgetfulness has gotten me. I'd get in contact with them, but I can't remember any of their names. But like, I don't really mind being absent-minded anymore. I've just gotten used to it. Like the other week, I lost my phone charger, right, which is not ideal. But then like a week later, I lost my phone, and I was like, well, problem solved.
I did teacher training, and when I left that school, the headmaster said to me, and forgive the slightly dated terminology, but he said, "I'm worried that you're someone who could potentially become a tramp." I mean, that's quite big, isn't it? Anyway, Marcus.
Well, I've had a lot of bad reviews over the years. I have to say the only ones that have really upset me have been from close family members. And I remember very well when my eldest son was little, when he was about sort of 6, I guess, I used to cycle him to school on one of those tag-along bikes, like half a bike attached to the back of mine. And he used to like to play Power Rangers, right? And he'd cast us and he'd say, "I'm Red Ranger and Daddy, you can be Blue Ranger," or whatever. And one day he said to me, "Daddy, you can be Red Ranger. This is like the highest honour available." Anyway, we set off cycling and we went up the first hill. And when we got to the top, he said, "Daddy, I'm sorry, you can't be Red Ranger anymore." And I said, "Why not?" And he said, "I don't think Red Ranger would sweat that much."
That is savage. What about when I was I buried my son was on a pebble beach, and I buried him under the thing, the first time ever. So he thought it was my idea for a joke, and it went really well. He was horizontal, and then I let him out, and he started jumping up and down and going, "Let's bury Daddy, let's bury Daddy." I said, "There'll be time enough." So, Sunil, what about you?
Well, okay, not so much reviews. What I've got is I did a Radio 4 show about trying to marry an heiress, and I've got 3 pieces of feedback from some high-end matchmakers I went to. So I had to go and sell myself to these very high-end matchmakers. This is the first one. When asked what he could bring to a relationship with one of our high net worth clients, he replied at length about his 100-watt USB-C charger. Went silent, said the word Warhammer as if it were a question, and then declared he would like to play golf one day. There's that one. This is the second matchmaker. They said he is keen to stress that this is all a joke, while asking several follow-up questions about trust funds and inheritance tax. And this is the last matchmaker. They said his core offering may be his honesty and self-awareness. He also mentioned a very good USB-C charger.
You know, you and Anna should get together. OK, this first round is called What Did I Buy? Online reviewing never fails to throw up a few surprises, like this one where someone in the US is enthusing about a pack of 6 assorted colours women's briefs. These are my new faves. Super soft, comfort waistband, which is my new favourite thing, good fit, perfect length, and my priest says they're flattering. Wow. I hope it gets a mention in the parish newsletter under the heading Thongs of Praise. So each team is going to hear 2 reviews of something you can buy online, and they have to work out what it is. If they can't get it after 2, I'll give them another review, but then they only get 1 point. So Marcus and Anna, you start, and here is your first one. Lovely item. Other half particularly like the meths burner, as took him back to childhood memories of meths burners.
What's a meths burner? Like a camping fire?
Yeah, like methylated spirit.
Methylated spirit.
Which is just alcohol, actually, that they put something in to discourage people from drinking it. I say discourage. I mean, it should be an outright ban, but we've all had days like that, haven't we?
Yeah, nobody tells me what to do.
Yeah. That's why your teacher thought you might leave and be a tramp. The science lab was completely empty of meths. So,
we
would you like more of a clue, I think.
More of a clue. Okay,
yeah.
This is review B. The top is made of cast iron. The base is made of very light aluminium. People usually drink alcohol when enjoying blank. It's not a big leap to see the top full of hot cheese being dumped on the table.
Oh, well, I mean, if it's hot cheese, we're firmly in my subject area.
Am I right? Forgive me, Marcus. Am I right in saying that you're a cheese meister?
I am. Yes. I am a qualified cheese. I am a master of cheese, and I judge at the World Cheese Awards. And
isn't hot cheese your drag name?
Yeah, and the advice is fondant. No, I've learned a fascinating thing at the World Cheese Awards, right? Which is that the more experienced judges, they taste, because we eat a lot of cheese, is that they spit them out, right? They spit them out because it's too much to eat all of that cheese. You judge about sort of 45, 50 cheeses. And the first one I judged 45 or so cheeses, got to the end, and then there was another cheese I didn't recognise in a silver bowl. At the end, and I thought, hello, I haven't had this before. I knew it was a soft cheese, you could see that, and it was very ripe. And anyway, I gave it a silver. So I'm pretty sure
it's got to be fondue, isn't it?
I think it's a fondue kit, isn't it? You put meths in the bottom of them, and
you know what? You're absolutely spot on. It is a fondue set for dipping things into melted cheese, or indeed strawberries and the like into melted chocolate. I never liked the chocolate ones much.
No.
But
the Austrians do a crossover. The Austrians dip fruit into their cheese.
Do they?
Yeah. But,
that sounds more like a collision than a dip.
It's an awful, awful thing to do, to put fruit in cheese, but it is, at best, the second worst thing that Austria has ever done.
I have to say, when I stopped drinking in the 80s and inevitably life became a sort of a sterile wasteland, fondue was basically all that I lived for. People would meet up then and have fondues, and it was I loved them so much.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
I don't know whether to tell you this, but there's wine in fondue.
Yeah, I always think it cooks away if you use alcohol in cooking. I mean, you never see people sitting in a circle on waste ground sharing a fondue. Anyway, I'd like to finish this bit by sharing with you one recipe from a Guardian feature on fondues, which said, if you're vegan, hummus thinned down with veg stock, served with raw vegetables, makes a decent fondue alternative. To which someone replied, I'm one of those true Guardian stereotypes in that I make my own hummus, but can I just say that sounds rank. Okay, now it's time for Sunil and Angela to hear your reviews. Here is your first one. Great to start, then lost its mojo and girth. Pathetic and limp. Wish I'd never bought it.
Mojo and girth, got those. What are the other two words after that?
Oh, well, I mean, pay attention.
Sorry, yeah.
Pathetic and limp.
Yep. Anyway.
Is it a balloon?
Is it a balloon?
I wish it was.
So easy.
I like the idea that someone reviewed not a specific balloon, but the abstract concept of balloon. I'll give you, this is your second review. It's been leaking balls since week 1.
Been leaking balls?
Since week 1, yeah. That's
Leaking-
not
Oh, well, this is a ball pool then, is it? Or a
Yeah, or a beanbag.
or a bingo machine?
No, it's actually a review of Bridgerton. No, it isn't. It isn't. Yeah, it's been leaking balls since week 1. What was your
A
guess?
beanbag can't have a mojo. And other sentences that have never been said before.
Are you saying it's a beanbag?
Me? I know, but the
I felt like I was a teacher saying, "Are you chewing?"
I feel like I'm in trouble. I said it was a beanbag because it's full of little balls.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? It is a beanbag.
Yeah.
There's something there.
When I was a student, we had a beanbag in our living room, and we had a party once, and about 6 weeks later, there was a smell we couldn't track down, and somebody put their empty fish and chip wrapper inside the beanbag.
I think you might like this review. This is a review from a customer who's very angry about it, and it's been translated from the German.
Oh, sehr good.
We bought this beanbag full of joy due to the many positive recessions, but now it's coming. The contents of the beanbag are not made of styrofoam balls, as I assumed, but of foam of the worst kind. Presumably cot residues, i.e. foam waste, and it has a bestial stench. Can I say, I actually saw bestial stench support Motorhead. Very good. So at the end of that round, Marcus and Anna are on 2 points. Sunil and Angela are on 2 points. This round is called What Am I Reading? Everyone reviews books so that they don't always stay strictly on topic, like this reader called Pete, who wrote, an amazing book. I was enthralled until the very last page, swept me off my feet, much like my wife. He goes on, unfortunately. I couldn't put it down, unlike my wife, as I can't even pick her up. She is fat. Back to the book, it's a good read. Oh, Pete. Incidentally, the book he's talking about is called Maths Observation, a concept he clearly took a bit too literally. So look, I've picked a book for each team, and they're going to hear some real reviews of it, and they have to work out what the book is. If you can't get it after 2, you can have a third review for 1 point. We'll start with Marcus. And Anna, here is your first review clue. This book, along with Robinson Crusoe and the Scarlet Letter, forms an unholy trinity of the driest, dullest classics I've ever read. There was way too much measuring, way too much minutiae, and for someone who constantly used the phrase, I will not trouble the reader with, you troubled me with a lot of shit. So what's a really dry classic book?
There's loads of them, aren't there?
It might be Thomas Hardy. I read him into my A-levels, test of the Durvers, and just too much landscape. I don't care about the trees, Thomas.
I don't think you're supposed to read those bits.
No.
They're like the white bits on an orange. I'll give you another review.
Yeah, we need a bit more.
I was kind of shocked. Why has no one pointed out that this is a giant rip-off of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? It's painfully obvious. I can't see why this Daniel Defoe mope hasn't had his ass sued. Maybe he avoided that by writing his rip-off in a long-ass, boring, oldie-worldy style so that all the lawyers would fall asleep before they got their writs typed up.
I mean, I really want to read it now.
Yeah.
So big to small. Clifford the Big Red Dog. It's got to be. I don't know. What's big?
I don't know. I've never read any Defoe.
Yeah, I mean, don't take everything in this as accurate.
I see.
He added another bit later, this guy. P.S. Some real geek types have DM'd me saying that Daniel Defoe didn't write this. It was Jonathan Swift. I mean, get a life. They're all dead, right?
All the writers ever are dead.
Yeah. So it's by the dead Jonathan Swift, not the dead Daniel Defoe. What do you think?
We've got it.
Do you know Jonathan? You don't know Jonathan Swift?
No?
The Borrowers or something? That's big to small? No? Was that even a book?
No, they were always small.
I think you might possibly get it from Jonathan Swift. By the way, was I'll tell you something that doesn't give anything away. But I did a documentary about him. He was the dean of St Patrick's Cathedral in Dublin, and he had a pulpit on wheels. And if he saw anyone who thought wasn't paying attention, he would get his assistants to wheel the pulpit over them.
Like a preachy Dalek.
Yeah, exactly. So, yes, here's a third one, which I think might help. If I went on a boat and crash-landed on an island of tiny people, and then the next trip I went on stranded me on an island of huge people, I'd stop going on boats.
I know what this is now, and I feel embarrassed to someone in the audience. Yes! I know this is clue one. It's the book that went on to be TripAdvisor, isn't it? I think it's Gulliver's Travels.
It is Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. It was published in 1726. It's never been out of print. Indeed, Amazon have even published it on Kindle, although that did infuriate one person who wrote, "Print way too small, sent it back saying thanks, but I'm not from Lilliput." It's also been adapted for film many times, including Jack Black's 2010 version, about which someone wrote, "From now on, when people ask me which famous figure I'd bring back from the dead, I'll say Jonathan Swift. Not because he's a massively important writer and satirist, but because I want to see the look on his face when he watches an adaptation of his novel and witnesses Jack Black as Gulliver getting a wedgie from a giant robot." OK, Sunil and Angela have to hear some reviews and guess their book. So here is your first review. As expected, a thoroughly enjoyable read which made me laugh. Some bits which were utterly dreadful, and so many women spraying anais into their bushes. It made me worry about the UTI rates in Colchester.
Well, anais is a perfume that my mum used to wear that smells of flowers. So if you're spraying it into bushes...
I think it's...
Oh, the
yes.
other... Right, got you, yeah.
I thought you were just supposed to spray it into your anais.
Is it like an autobiography of some sort of Essex girl?
Let me give you the second review. I think that will help. The kindest thing I can say about this romance is that it's unutterably balmy and of its time, in brackets, the late 80s. Two unpleasant rich men, grammar school educated Tony and aristocrat Rupert, scheme their way through life while lying to different women and having sex on every flat surface. Wouldn't let them in my snooker hall. Tony and Rupert doing lots of systematic section. I
This
mean,
is Julie, isn't it?
I know Blair and Murdoch were close, but I didn't know it was this bad. Now, does that ring any bells to you?
It's Julie Cooper.
Ah, we're getting there.
I think
Which
so.
Julie Cooper?
Rival?
It is Julie Cooper's 1988 romp rival. Yes, it was the follow-up to her book Riders, set in the world of international show jumping, which is why one reviewer praised the new one by saying, much better horse-to-sex ratio.
I want to know, does that mean more horse or more sex? I don't know.
Well, it depends what you're after,
Well,
I
yeah,
suppose.
right.
I'm no mathematician. So at the end of that round, Marcus and Anna are on 3 points, but Sunil and Angela have edged ahead on 4 points. Okay, this next round's called Where on Earth Are We? And it's about holidays and adventure. Travel broadens the mind, but doesn't always make it more logical, as this review demonstrates. Simply saying, absolutely bloody freezing, coldest place on Earth. Have they never heard of a radiator? And that's a review of the Snow Centre in Manchester. The only place in Manchester where it's not raining, apparently. So, Sunil and Angela, you're going to hear a couple of reviews of a tourist attraction. If you don't get it after 2 reviews, you can hear a third one at the cost of a point. So here's your first, and I have to say, it's quite confused. The presentation of all the info is very male in feel. I can't see what women or children would possibly find interesting. It could be so much better if they just recreated the torture chamber in the basement.
Is that my ex-boyfriend's house?
What are you thinking about that? Very male in feel, they could have recreated the torture chamber in the basement.
Well, I'm thinking some very bad things.
Yeah.
Not very many fun things.
No, and if there's a torture chamber, why are you taking children there in the first place? Unless it's London Dungeon.
My wife loves true crime. I'd been away for 2 days. I put the telly on, and you know, you get those bits that say, because you watched. It said, because you watched When Grandmothers Kill. Ugh, awful.
Is it a historic monument of some description now?
It might well be. I think I can help you with the second clue.
Okay.
yeah.
At no point loss. No interactive displays. Nearly all tourist sites have something you can interact with. Things that keep young and old amused. Not here. How about letting the public fondle the crown jewels?
What was the last line? Sorry,
How about letting the public fondle the crown jewels?
I mean, I hope it's the Tower of London.
Yeah. It's a story of my early touring days. What do you think it is?
Tower of London.
It is the Tower of London. People have gone after it a bit, though. What about this one review? Complete waste of money. And I've visited many fortresses, so don't think I don't know what I'm saying. Do you think you might have Tourette syndrome? Of course, we don't call them fortresses anymore. We call them female porters. I like this one. Great exhibition, but clearly overpriced in food areas. Nearly £16 for a sweet potato falafel. If Sir Walter Raleigh had known about that, he'd have opened a cafe instead of getting himself executed. Okay, we now come to Marcus and Anna, and here is your mystery location, clue 1. It's usually sunny with a high of 95 degrees, but if you see storm clouds, there's a slight chance you'll die.
I wonder if it's on Earth. Maybe it's on Mars or something like that.
Maybe. I mean, if I'm on Mars, I'll probably die anyway. I don't know what I'm doing up there.
You don't get much Mars stuff on TripAdvisor. Would you like a second clue?
I think we need more.
Please.
Okay. The boat was not as accommodating as we expected. Limited seating and small viewing area for glass-bottom panels. Visibility wasn't great. Fish could be seen, but kind of all looked alike. To which the tour operator replied, unfortunately, it's impossible for us to predict what kind of fish show up. And someone wrote under that, no, it was hard to see at the bottom of the boat, and even worse, I have to say I think this is a misprint. No, it was hard to see out at the bottom of the boat, and even worse, one of the widows was dirty and covered in rust. But in my experience, you always get a lovely breakfast. I was talking to one of the team today, and her mum had been sick over the edge of a glass-bottom boat, and they watched and the sick went past. Like the worst game of poo sticks you've ever played. OK, there's only... Are you going to have a clue before we go to the one-pointer?
I think the warning about that you're possibly going to die suggests it's somewhere very dangerous for a glass-bottom boat, like the Cape of Good Hope or the Bermuda Triangle.
It is a company offering cruises around the Bermuda Triangle.
Wow. Do you think out of the glass-bottom boat you just see loads of aeroplanes and conspiracy theorists in foil hats?
In case you didn't know, the area of about 500,000 square miles off the tip of Florida, said to be the site of unexplained shipwrecks and various mysterious activities. Ooh. You can imagine what the reviews are generally like. Like this one, went on holiday to the Bermuda Triangle in 2019 and again in 1927. Yes. So let's have a look at the final scores. Oh, goodness. Marcus and Anna have 6 points and Sunil and Angela have 6 points. And there is time for one last review, and here's a new thing. AI has started to aggregate online reviews for products, and this is an AI summary of reviews for a large plushie. Customers find the plush toy cute and super soft, with one noting it's not too firm nor too empty. Moreover, the toy is durable and holds up well, and customers consider it good value. Additionally, they appreciate its size, with one describing it as the largest banana dock ever. However, the humping quality receives mixed feedback. Goodbye.
Found This Helpful was hosted by Frank Skinner and starred Marcus Brigstocke, Anna Thomas, Sunil Patel and Angela Barnes, and was written by Frank Skinner, Catherine Brinkworth, Sarah Dempster, Jason Hazley, Carl Minns, Katie Sayer and Peter Toulouche. The show was devised by Jason Hazley and Simon Evans with the producer David Tyler, and it was a Positive production for BBC Radio 4.